Man, where's that Make Sense been? I feel the same way myself, folks. Anyways, we are back in the saddle. Old Ellie Mae's here. Well, we're in Texas. But guys, I got some news for you. The reason that I spent so much time off, it was kind of unexpected. It was unexpected. I wasn't planning on taking all that time off. Actually, after the broker so tense, it's been a while since I've done this. Relax. All right, after the broker convention, I intended on going home for a week, maybe two, possibly three. Honestly, I was just going to wait on a good load to pop, and then I was going to grab it and run. And but I had one catch, one snag that's holding me up from just taking off. My physical was coming due at the end of the month, so I went to get my physical at the end of the month. Actually, about 3 weeks before the end of the month, almost 4. Yeah, that's 5 weeks last month in October. But at the end of October, my physical was going to expire on the 30th, and I went the second week in the month. And well, let me tell you a little story. Let me back it up just a little bit. Trucking will kill you. Trucking will kill you. There's good things about trucking, and there's terrible things about trucking. One of the terrible things about trucking is it will kill you. Your health will decline. I mean, you will basically just rot. And it's just from inactivity from what we do. And I'm gonna take you back to about 2011. I had my physical, and I went through my papers the other day while I was at home so I can make this video. I forgot them, but I do got my last 2 physical right here. But my physical, I think, is around 2000. I think it's 2013, and my physical, well, it was passed, and I can't remember exactly the numbers. But I do remember in 2013, whenever I was getting ready to go to OTR, I had to go re-update my physical, and my blood pressure at the time was 113/70 something, 73 maybe. It was low. I'm pretty active at home. Not in the truck, but at home I'm usually pretty active, especially with my last job that I used to have before I went OTR and became a lazy old trucker. And my blood pressure, and at the time, what was that, 2013, that's 6 years ago, I was 34 years old. So 34, almost 35, I had a blood pressure of 113/73. Now let's fast forward 2 years of OTR. 2 years OTR, I still remember as like it's yesterday. I was in Livermore, California. And Livermore, California was a run that I used to run a lot. And I was out there and I needed to get a physical, so I ran down to a local walk-in clinic. I think they called them a doc in a box. And when I went in there, I had to trek about half a mile uphill in the snow. I'm just kidding. I had to trek about a half a mile, and it seemed like uphill to get in there. And they took me straight back to get my physical. Your blood pressure is elevated, and I was still out of breath. You know what I'm saying? I was hustling trying to get down there before they closed. Long story short, sorry about that pause. I'm looking in my mirror there and seeing somebody. Long story short, they said, you know, sit in the room for about 5 minutes. We'll be back, and try to calm down and rest. Which you got to rest to get a good, accurate blood pressure when you walk in. I got more to add to that in a minute, but I sat there for about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. The doc came back in, took it, and it was, you know, it was low enough. As a truck driver, it's got to be under 140 and under 140 over 100. So I sat there 5-10 minutes. It went down low enough. He said, "All right, it's good." And that was in 2013, and that's another one I left at home. It was around 145 when I went in there, 145 over something. It was too high, just 2 years OTR. And if you remember some of my videos about 2.5 years ago, I got pretty proactive about health consciousness and the fat vegetarian video, why we truckers are fat. And I got pretty hardcore on that, and I ain't really swayed much away from that. I've constantly updated and tweaked my diet as an OTR driver. You know, I don't eat a lot of processed food. I say processed. I don't eat crappy food. I'm off the sugars. I drink a little bit of sweet tea while I'm at home. Some. I prefer non-sweet. I drink a lot of water. I'm basically off the sugars, which has helped tremendously. But as we age, I'm 40. It just seems like it just slows down and gets worse and worse and worse. But anyway, back into Livermore. Got my physical. Got my 2-year card. Went back 2 years ago and got my physical. And this is while I was doing things healthy. One thing that I did stray from was I used to take a little swig of apple cider vinegar every day, and I'd done that for quite a while, and then I just kind of got away from it, but I'm getting back to it. But 2 years ago, fast forward or rewind let's see, what is the date? 2020, so go back to 2018. I was 38 then, and my blood pressure, get this crap, wait, wrong one. I think I got it working. Okay. The one prior to this, I was thinking, all right, man, I'm going to try to meditate. I'm going to calm down. I'm not going to, dip and have any nicotine in my system. I'm not going to have any sugar in my system. I ain't going to have nothing in my system. And what I done is I got up that morning and I took a shower. And after I got woke up, I took a shower, and then I just kind of meditated and relaxed. Got out of the shower, done the same thing, and I basically meditated all the way up to the clinic. And sat in the truck and meditated. I was so calm. My body was so relaxed. I could have went to sleep. Anyway, I walked straight back there, took my blood pressure, and it was a 120/74. I don't know if you can see that right there. See that? Anyway, it was 120/74. Now that was 2 years ago, and I was ecstatic. And if you also look on here, my vision was 20/20, uncorrected 20/20. So that was pretty cool. Now let's fast forward to second week in October. Second week of October, I'm at home. I just came home from the broker convention. Had a good time with that. Got a lot to share with you guys. But I just came home from that, and I was going to chill at the house for a little while, get my DOT physical out of the way, and then I was going to kick rocks and get to work. I was planning a week, maybe 2, possibly 3, but I was really just going to wait for a good load to pop and something that's got some money on it. So I repeated what I did 2 years ago. I got up, I got in the shower, I meditated, I calmed myself, I relaxed, no nicotine, no caffeine. I didn't eat, and got out of the shower, got ready, relaxed, meditated, quiet in the mind, just nice and still. Got in the truck, drove to the clinic. I keep calling it a clinic. It's not a clinic. That's like a druggie or something, or I don't know. This don't sound right. Physician. I went to the physician and got to the physician's and sat out in the truck about 10 minutes before I went in there. And I walked in. They took me straight back, and I shit you not, my blood pressure was like 155, 165 over 105, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's real crazy. Anyway, the girl said, that's too high. That's just too high. And I said, well, what we do now? I said, give me something. I got to get this done. I got to get back to work. And she said, well, you need to see the doc. I said, well, I'm already here. Put me on the list to see the doc. There's a lot that transpired with her, but it's kind of like, simple stuff. I just told them, give me something to get this under me, or get it behind me, so I can get my physical and get back to work, cause I got a business to run. And I seen the doc, and the doctor went on a tangent, and he said, the thing about truckers is, he said, the US or FMCSA, he said they're really concerned, would want to try to save truckers from running over families and killing people. And it happens, and there's really only one way they can measure it, because here's a common trait. I mean, he said a lot. I'm going to try to regurgitate what I can remember. The common trucker smokes. The common trucker is overweight. The common trucker don't eat healthy. The common trucker does not get exercise. The common trucker does not do a lot of things, but the common trucker, they cannot measure cholesterol. They cannot measure this without them actually going and getting blood work done. But one universal thing they can check is blood pressure. And the thing about blood pressure is, just because you got a slightly elevated blood pressure does not mean you've got bad cholesterol, heart disease, heart attack. Any of that stuff is in the near future. I mean, he went on a tangent. He said, I don't like it. Siri, I'm not talking to you. He said, I don't like it one bit. He said, they want it to be under 140, over 100. He said, and he said, the best thing you can do is just exercise. He said, I promise you, Sammy, he said, you lose 10% of your body fat right now, or your body weight. And I was like, and I just weighed, and it's like 247, which I've gained weight. I don't understand that. I guess getting old sucks. He said, you lose 10% of your body mass. So I told him, he said, how much do you weigh? I said, 247. He said, lose 27 pounds. He said, I promise you this is going to drop so much, you won't need medicine. I said, look, doc, I said, I get that, and I'm going to do that, because this right here kind of pisses me off. I've always been healthy. I've been healthy my whole life. And this thing don't do nothing but make me mad. I said, give me something to get me over this bridge and get this passed. I said, you ain't got to give me a lifetime subscription. I said, just give me something to get it down. I said, I'm going to have to get my lazy butt back to exercising and walking, and just quit drinking so much beer when I'm home. I said, I can get it down. I said, I just need this passed right now. I said, because he didn't want to prescribe me anything. He wanted me to just exercise and get it off. And then I had to explain to him why I needed it now. And he said, all right, I'm going to give you 2 months. He said, don't get used to it. He said, just exercise, eat right, do this, do that. And I said, all right, cool. And I took those pills for 30 days and went back and took my test again. And honestly, the pills didn't help me. And then people say, it takes 4 to 6 weeks for it to get in your system. Anyway, it didn't really help me. I went back up there, and when they first took my blood pressure, it was 155 over 102 or 103. It was like insane. Anyway, but this girl was a little different, because I told this girl, I said, hey, ain't I supposed to be able to sit here and rest for about 5 minutes before you take that? She said, oh yeah. She's like, that's cool. She said, better yet, let's take you back here in this room. She took me back in the room. She said, you want some water? Sometimes that helps. And I said, sure, give me some water. And she sat back there, let me sit there for about, 10 minutes. I'm back there just eyes shut, thinking about good things, thinking about happy trails and trucking, and just, well, not that. I was thinking about the beach, my family, my dog. It just things that make me happy and low stress. So I thought about that kind of stuff, and just kind of every time I exhale, just trying to relax the tension in my body. The shoulders, the arms. It's like a lot of time I'm tensed up, and then you breathe, you relax. And just done that for about 10 minutes. She came in, and it was still slightly elevated. And she said, all right. She said, I'll be back. And she came back about 5, maybe 15 minutes later. I don't know. I think I might have napped. She came back and took it, and it had dropped, which one of my buddies, he told me, he said, I think you got white coat syndrome. Those docs make you nervous. I said, maybe. But anyway, they came back in, and I don't know if you can see this camera. I don't know this camera right yet, but focus, you sucker. All right. I think that's about as good as I'm gonna get it. I finally got it down to 130 over 88. And she said, good enough, awesome, we're running with it. And here's what's crazy. The pulse rate was all the way down to 73, the heartbeats per minute. Here's what's crazy. If you've seen on there, you've seen my vision is 2015. She had me do the eye exam, right? And she said, what the furthest down the list, what's the bottom number you can see? And I said, I think I could read the bottom one. She said, what is it? We ran through the courses, ran the bottom one. She said, okay, what color is this? That's got red and green. She said, I said, green. She, what color is this? I said, purple. And she said, shut up, get out, get over here. Anyway, she gave me vision of 2015, but I just noticed whenever I was getting this paper ready that she knocked it down as corrected. Hey, say it, lady. These eyes do not need glasses. These are all original. Which is kind of crazy. I posted on Facebook the other day. I said, how can I just get my physical and get a vision of 2015 and I can't see 2, 3, 4 foot in front of my face? I mean, getting old sucks. But that's just part of it, I guess. And I didn't even notice that till just now. That's crazy. I'm gonna go back up there and say, look, these are not corrected lens. You're gonna make the DMV want to test me. That right there is all original. Anyway, the day that I took my physical and passed it was the last day I took my blood pressure pill. It was at Phil, or I don't even know. It was something Phil, 20 milligrams. I took one every day. Along with about 2 weeks in, I started taking apple cider vinegar and apple cider vinegar peel and some potassium. Some potassium right there. Whoa. Can I get you? Slightly. I'm gonna learn this camera. But potassium. And the only thing difference besides another 2 years of age from last physical to this physical is I weighed the same. Everything's about the same. I eat the same habits. One thing that I didn't do though, and that was apple cider vinegar. I did not take a swig of apple cider vinegar every day. And I really think that right there lowered the blood pressure last year when it was so low. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the apple cider vinegar, there's only one kind you should get, and it's Bragg. Apple cider vinegar, Bragg. It's organic. It's raw with the mother, as it says. I can't reach it. Anyway, it's the only kind of apple cider vinegar I would get. I mean, that's what all the holistic doctors and the homeopathic doctors recommend. So I'm gonna be back on that swig right there, up my walking, and as you've seen in some of my last videos, man, I'm out of shape. And I think that all boils down to why my blood pressure's high. I also had blood work done. Heart's good, lungs good, everything's good. Cholesterol's a little elevated. I'm gonna get that down though, because my triglycerides are up a little bit. I didn't know what none of that stuff is until now. But I'm 40, and this is the first time I've ever had anything happen or need that. Let's just say it's the first time in my life that I hadn't been, that sun's getting here, healthy as a horse, so to speak. And it kind of pisses me off. So we're gonna change that. Give me about a month or two, and we'll report back. But Driven Trucking, he told me the other day, or last week, he said, it sounds like to me we need a little competition. I need to get healthy or get back in shape myself. I said, competition? Who needs competition, son? I said, I'm pissed off. I said, this is the first time in my life I've ever had anything wrong with me. Or not that there's wrong with me, like I said a minute ago. It's first time in my life I hadn't been healthy as a horse. I said, I'm pissed off. I said, I don't need no competition. I said, this is how it is. I'm doing it, so you need to keep up. Let's go. And he's like, damn, you're serious. But you're damn right I'm serious. I'm pissed off. So back to the first of the video, trucking, there's a lot of good things about trucking, but at the end of the day, if you ain't diligent in how you take care of yourself, trucking will kill you. Anyways, guys, if you're still hanging around here, I gotta get off here. It's been too long. I've been rattling along too long, but you know.